Hello everyone, and here's my take on this week's game with Solihull Moors. Now, the original plan was for a short, brief video, but things have happened this week and events have happened, so it's going to be slightly longer. First of all, a shout out to the two lads from Southport who were at the service stations en route to Eastleigh spoke to me and told me that they like my videos, who've watched them and they follow them. Fair play lads, I appreciate that. I'm not one who begs for subscribers or likes, but anyone who wants to watch it, wants to subscribe, feel free. I'm actually on 299 subscribers at the minute. The content's not just Oldham, it's music and stuff, but I just enjoy talking football, sharing my passion. So cheers lads. I had been to Southport once before watching Oldham. It was a few days after I come back from the Isle of Man in 2006 it was. It was an awful 0-0 draw, pre-season friendly, but hey, I'd like Southport to come up. It's a local game. It's got a beach, it's by the coast, it's got a good few pubs, it's a good day out as well. Okay. So the big talking point this week, the big bit of news, is that Frank has finally completed the purchase of Boundary Park. Yes, Boundary Park is now back in the hands of Oldham Athletic. We own everything. It's been bought off Blitz and Gazelle. Fine, after years of wanting this to happen, years of legal rafts, issues that have gone on, it is back. Thank you, Frank. Fair play, you're stuck to your word. Just think about, compared to 12 months ago, the club looked at its rock bottom, protest, the relegation, the threat of administration or even bankruptcy under them Lemsigans. Frank has come in and has changed all that. And you know what? This Saturday there's going to be such a big buzz at Boundary Park, but let's not kid ourselves. I'm not here to slate the Three Amigos. I'm not going to praise them either. They started off alright. It wasn't that bad. Remember, Celebration Sunday, the City game. Obviously things changed. Problems with the council, ground development, Failsworth, the credit crunch recession, and sadly, in my opinion, it should have happened a lot sooner than with the Lemsigans. But it's happened. I'm not going to dwell on the past. It's time to move forward and look up to a brighter future. I've also read today that rugby have now been took over by Mike Ford, who was a former coach. Remember him in their glory years? This is a good thing. We need our town to have sporting success. And I'll say this again. Oldham is a sporting town with a sporting history. When I first got into football, both our teams were successful. The rugby and the football. Hell, we even had the Oldham Celtics basketball team that weren't that bad. And obviously the Spirals, who are doing well in the charts, who are funny enough touring again, and I'm looking forward to seeing them next week. But people look at towns, they look at how they're doing in the sporting world. It puts places and the maps around the world. I know rugby may not be as high profile as football, but it's high profile enough for people to stand up and take notice. And credit to the council to finally putting a bit of money in. Don't get me wrong, I know people have their opinions on the council. I have my own criticisms of them, but they've done it now long enough. It's time to push on a facility, a sporting facility that can be used all year round, that will benefit the community and hopefully bring spectators and success back to Boundary Park for the football, the rugby and wherever else we can use it on. Yes, now Frank owns the ground. That hopefully means all match day revenue should go back into the club. From the car parks, the bars. Obviously, the ground needs a lot of work doing. I've already seen debates about home fans going back in a Chaddy. I've been a Chaddy for years. I don't mind a Rocky. The Q6 I think are better in a Rocky, but you never know. Who's to say that with the introduction now safe standing, the Chaddy can't return to standing? Or why can't we have fans in both stands and just keep the away fans in the small section? Things like this now we can look at using Boundary Park as an all year round facility, as I mentioned before, not just for the football, finishing the main stand. Things like we've got the bar in, fans bar, like an all year round bar, hospitality, conferences. There's now a lot more potential we can do with this ground. And the facts now, there's no this legal wrangling, who takes what. We know where we are and we can push on. And in the long run, that money will benefit the club and can go into building into the team. Again, it's been mentioned on Twitter today about where we are this time next year. I always said this year was about stability, getting it right off the pitch, as well as on it. Off the pitch now, it's looking stabilised and settled. Obviously, there's still work to be done. It's not going to be a miracle overnight. But this time next year, I'm hoping that the minimum is a playoffs. We can now put the money into the team. We can start recruiting players. We can build a team. Get rid of Wrexham. They've just signed Ben Foster at this level. Who can compete with that? And hopefully Notts County will go up as well, although it is a good away day. Although I missed them both this year. Now it's time to focus positive. They're gone. The Uncle Nobed, laughing policeman's out the picture despite him on Twitter trying to claw back in. It's now time for the fans to get behind Frank. Hopefully Saturday we can get Ice Station Sedbury rocking. I put the video up yesterday from the Chesterfield game. Cheers Brad, with the fans singing a song for Frank Rothwell. I'm hoping that all three stands, obviously the away fans from the Chaddy, will sing that, giving that round of applause. The work now starts again towards next year. It's just a good feeling. Obviously, I didn't do the video on Thursday night with things on, but I'm hoping to do one at Boundary Park, in Boundary Park. Tomorrow, obviously, it'll be loud. It'll be too loud to say all this in the ground. And it's obviously Friday night at the moment. I'm doing half an hour, half in the morning. I've just got work tonight. But finally, the dark clouds have gone. Boundary Park is ours. As a club, we can start being more optimistic. We start looking to the future and climbing back up now. So, I've now included 2 photos. The Trust are doing some remakes. 1895 Legend Series with local business Hope and Glory. And Leesy's bit of 2 Leesy's shirts. Yes, remakes of 2 kits from in the 80s. They are magnificent. They look nice. I do collect Oldham kits. Old and new. I don't have as many as pre-1990 and they are hard to get and they're quite pricey and they're very rare. So if you have any, fair play. If you do sell, let me know. I'm prepared to make an offer. But these 2 remakes are good. They remind me of the Bovis remake by Push the Boundary last year. I'll certainly be invested in them. I'm actually show photos from about 10 years ago of the kits I've got. I've actually got a lot more since then. Although I did miss out on the white shirt last year and I need to get the 3rd kit from this season. But if you can afford it, you can get them. Why not? People coming up. Could be a good Father's Day present. Could even be an early Christmas present or an Easter present for someone. But I'd definitely be keeping an eye out. So I reckon they will go. They will be like gold dust. You never know if demand's there. The club may make some more. It's nice to see the club working with local firms. Over the years, myself and others have put ideas like this. The club are launching some new merchandise. There's a shirt that says we're playing blue and tangerine. We put them to the previous people in the Trust, the club. We never always got anywhere. It's nice to see the work of these. Let's not forget Sam Corey's own scarves, hats she's done over the last 2 years that have gone well. And Sammy's launching a new scarf. When I get it, I'll contribute to it. I'm going to put it on here so you can have a look. Honestly, it's good to see the club engaging with people now. And I reckon if you have any other ideas, take it to them. Because I don't mean we're going to be like Man United with merchandise on toilets and everything, but little ideas, pin badges, scarves, fans like that. Especially when fans come over from Frankfurt, Holland and all over. They're always looking in our club shop and it helps generate money. And it's sort of mementos like that, which can, like I say, could be handing presents or just little touching things to remember certain games or seasons by. I want to reflect and have a look back at the Dagenham game last week. Obviously, I didn't make the trip down, so I saw it streamed. The score was 1-1. Not particularly great game, but the point was a fair result. Nothing to shout about from the rooftops, but equally not worth getting worked up about. When they scored, I actually thought the momentum was in our favour. We were playing okay. Green was looking alright. Credit to Dagenham, it was a nice finish. The goals took well, but hang on. Where was the defending? Where was the midfield? How did you let him have so much time and space to turn and put that ball in? Obviously, I thought Hudson didn't play too bad. He wasn't awfully troubled. Made a few saves, but I'd still expect Norman to come straight back into the side when he's fit again. Rooney was my man of the match. Fondop, does love playing away. He got a good equaliser. Nuttall did have a chance later on. I felt we're a bit weak in midfield. Not strong enough, could have been a bit more physical, a bit more aggressive. These are the sort of games where we need that extra fighting instinct. The lad from Crewe, I wasn't overly impressed with him to be fair, but it's giving me his due. He's only just joined the club. Miracles aren't going to happen straight away like they do in some circumstances. Hopefully we'll see better of him. I know it's only a short-term measure. Nuttall again played midweek for England C. I saw a bit of it. It weren't really a great game to be fair, but international honours. I can't afford anyone who gets the opportunity to represent the country, whatever level it is. So the draw last week takes us now to 15th in the table, and we're looking safe. I reckon 4 more points should confirm it. It's weird because I mean, people are saying, oh, there's nothing to play for, season's boring and over. I know the football isn't particularly great, but look at it from this perspective. About 8 weeks ago, we were in all around the bottom 4. There was a real danger of us being relegated to National League North. I'll take where we are now. Safety over quality. But at least with games now coming towards the end of the season, it can blend a few youngsters in, like young Forshaw from the academy who's been banging goals in. Obviously, Sutton got thrown at the deep end. This is a chance now to experiment, balance, have a look at these players, and for the fringe players to try and show that they're worth a contract. I do expect a big clear out in the summer. And we all like to see a good young academy player come through because we can link to them. Okay, they may not necessarily be an Oldham fan, but we've nurtured them. We've helped them get where they are step by step, and hopefully in years to come we'll see a fair few more youngsters who've played at youth levels pull on the blue and tangerine shirt. I just think when we were in the Premier League, Solihull Moors did actually not exist. They were 2 separate clubs. Solihull Borough and Moor Green both had a few FA Cup runs over the years. They merged in 2007 and got promoted to the conference in 2016. We signed Matt Smith from Solihull Moors in 2011, and Alex Reid played for them earlier this year. Obviously, they beat us 2-1 at their place earlier in the season. I wasn't over impressed with the ground. It was cold, left me hat on the coach. I was feeling ill. It was in the middle of nowhere. The social bar was dead tiny. And I said it was easy to get a pint in Qatar than it was there. But to the credit, they are where they are. They lost the playoff final last year and are currently 9 points off the playoffs and don't really look like a team to me that's going to get in this year unless they do what Grimsby did and have a very late surge. Hopefully today we can get into them from the start. We can have another win at home. And I always say that every week, and I want us to. It's one of these, I don't like going into these games thinking we're going to lose, but I still look at where we are now and from when we last played them, and I still think on that day, these at Boundary Park are beatable. How Unsworth approaches it is what makes me, again, going to be a good crowd there tomorrow. Bit of entertainment, but just put a performance in for the fans, something we can cheer about, something we can go home and talk about, something we can laugh about, so we can say, yeah, we enjoyed that today. Obviously, it's building towards next season now, but the higher we finish, the better the momentum is, the more people want to come back, get the appetite for it, the more season ticket sales, the more now we should be looking at these players and thinking, right, this is my core squad. You should be telling these players, if you still want to be here next year, you need to impress them, you need to show that you want to play for Oldham Athletic. On that note, Stubbs has gone to Torquay and Burgess has gone to Altrincham. Burgess hasn't really had much of a chance. It looked like he had a bit of speed pre-season. Stubbs, I always like everyone's cup of tea. I remember watching him at Newport last year and thinking, there's a player in him. I thought this level he would thrive. He hasn't, unfortunately. I know walking away second half, he did show a few glimpses of a player, but he's far to favour, and to be fair, it's better for him to be playing football elsewhere than be stuck in reserves. Maybe like Whelan and Garrity, they can recover themselves and get careers elsewhere. Hell, they may even turn it on and manage to get themselves back in the team, but I don't really see that. But best of luck to both of them. Well, there we are for this week. I'm looking forward to the game now. I'm knackered because I ended up working tonight. I'm actually supposed to meet some City fans from work, so if you see them, don't be too harsh on them. I've been around for a range to start, but hoping to get to the fan bar. Looking forward to seeing people. It's weird to think we're actually running out of games now. I've heard Wrexham is a sellout, so next week's going to be a big, loud away following. It'd be nice to cause an upset there, but today, let's get a win against Solihull. Come on, Oldham. See you on the terraces.